much people are sitting there appreciating their environment, thanking God for everything. You know, I'm not talking about consciousness in that way. I'm talking about consciousness in your ability to live life and experience as a soul is supposed to do. You know, person is, you come in and you experience and you try and get something out of it. I think that we have done that. We come and we've done a lot of shit and we've learned a lot of shit from it because we've got this lifestyle out in front of us which has so much opportunity and so much shit to do. That's a different thing in consciousness, I think. Consciousness is not just about being spiritually whole. So I think that we've just got a different culture that's doing different things.
I'm pretty black and white when it comes to my concept of consciousness being at a higher level than at another consciousness, because when it comes to inequality in every sense, not just economic or whatever the fuck, but when it comes to inequality in the world around you, then a harmonious being that loves every creature, great, small, man, beast, anything, or planet, to someone that's destructive with or without knowing it is destructive in war, environmental destruction, in you know, in its own humanity, then I can definitely raise one higher than the other. You know,
but you're just talking about empathy and your ability to be empathetic.
Sure. Okay. So sure. The world goes through cycles. Humans go through cycles. You know, possibly we're at a low cycle at the moment.
A low of what?
We're at a low cycle of thinking that, you know, that the current operating system with the inequalities through the planet, environmental destruction, human life is the best way to go. We might be at a low cycle in that particular point, and we're not relying enough on empowering the individual for empowering the individual consciousness, so they care enough about themselves, they'll care more about the world around them. It's all materialistic, physical.
Sure, and I agree with all that, and I think that, you know, you're right, we could definitely make some changes and improve and become a little bit, you know, better our lives if we make this greater connection with, you know, the world around us and appreciate it more. And empower the individual and stop inequality and stop wars and all that. Yeah, great.
That's putting it gently.
But that's not saying that anything has been lower or higher. It's just simply recognizing that the way we feel about our environment now, like for you and I are two people who feel this way. Not everybody feels that we need to change. Not everybody feels that we're in a low point. You and I are looking at our environment going, actually, we would like to change things. We're not happy with it. That's not because we think that we've been crap before and we're going to be better later. It's we recognize change is going to be the best thing for us. It's not about like a better or worse overall and being in highs and lows. I don't believe that. Well, I think it's just different.
Well, I believe, you know, every purpose of the soul on this planet is to grow and learn and experience. So without bad times, you can't do that. You need bad times to get to the good times.
But it's not bad. Right. It's just another way of experiencing things so that you get to the point where you go, I want to change because I don't need that anymore for me. Or it's not what I want to be doing. It's not about, like, bad or good, I don't think.
I think it is. I think it is about bad and good when it comes to the reality of what some people have to live in and what our planet's going through at the moment. There has to be bad and good, because we'll just go.
But you're talking about bad and good is just
I'm talking about bad and good
of a human.
Yeah.
So great, but the only way opinion is useful is if you go and act on that opinion and do something to change it. We have an opinion so that we're able to recognize the situation, assess it, judge it, and then decide for ourselves what we're going to do from there. If we weren't able to judge, then we wouldn't. If we have to be able to label it as good and bad, so we can recognise we need to change it.
See what we're getting back to now. We're getting back to this quintessential situation of why we've gotten to this stage. Why do we even need to talk about this nonsense? Okay, and why we've been contemplating, you know, how bad the world's gotten, why it needs to be fixed, and all the rest of it. To the point of we don't actually know. You know, the system that we've got has created us to a point where no one actually really knows who we are, how we got here. You know, we look back in history and we go, oh, you know, primitive, they did this and that, or whatever the fuck, but we don't actually know about the power of the mind or how the power of the mind got to the point it was and then how it got to now. because we look back, and that's where this stone ape theory comes into play. If there is a possibility where if Africa got to be a dry climate and we had to come out of the trees and then we had to go and eat mushrooms, we didn't have to, but we decided to go and eat because the mushrooms sustained us, and they gave us these spiritual experiences which made us, bury people and like develop language and all this sort of stuff. One of the many theories out there. Then if that is a possibility, which I'm leaning very close to, then, and if anyone's done mushrooms, they can probably fucking, think down that line for a little bit as well. Then you got to think that is a major cause of why we're lost as a species. That is a major cause, because we don't actually understand, what we're doing here, what we're doing in everyday life, why we're sitting here, why we're going to work 5 days a week, why we've got all this regimentation and laws and fucking all this sort of stuff. And sure, okay, it's for society, it's for this, it's for the greater good, all this sort of bullshit. But if you think about the concept of the stone ape theory and the concept of where we are now, then you've got to go, well, fuck, we are so far off the mark of where we used to be.
Yes.
And then sure, keep all the good stuff, keep all the technology, keep all the editing, but the reason why, we're getting to the point where war's unacceptable, which is now I'm going to tie it back into the 2012, December 21st thing, why we're getting to the point where it's unacceptable to wage war, and the human race is standing up through social consciousness and going, fuck you, I don't want war. You people who have all the money and gain all the profit and you drop a bomb and go, well, that's $500,000 in the bank there. You people are the ones that are making this destructive paradigm keep running, and the public is now standing up with this. With what I believe is coming to the precipice of the people versus the power, and it's coming to a point where the people are now, through the level of consciousness of our general population, it's coming to a point where we're saying, well, look, guys, we don't like what you're doing anymore, and we're not happy with the way things are going. Right.
So you think that's the point of this date and this transition period that apparently we're going through? You think that's the point of this whole 2012 thing, is this point that the human race is
that we're
now
searching.
At,
we're searching. I think we're searching. Yes. I think we're searching for what we used to be and for what we want to be, and we're not happy with the way it's going. And now there's people still locked into this monetary world, which never used to even occur, but we're still locked in, and they're like, well, I like all my luxuries, I like my fucking comfy this, and I'm too comfortable in my life to change and this and that, until it's forced upon you. And unfortunately, no matter what way you look at it, that day is going to come. It could be in 10 years, it could be in 10 months, it could be in 100 years. That day is going to come. And unless we get prepared, and unless we start cooperating in the community sense, rather than government, I give them taxes and they look after me, rather than empower your fellow human, and and my life will be more enriched.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So I think that is the real thing that we need to be taking from 2012. Regardless of all the different types of conspiracy theories, which I'm just going to give you a brief rundown of all the different things that they have.
We need to
we've got polar shifts that are going to cause magnetic shifts and massive issues like earthquakes and tsunamis and everything. Like climate changes all throughout different continents will be completely upside down. That's obviously destructive, and if that happens, we're fucked. But that apparently, from the scientist's point of view, is a 400,000 year cycle when the poles shift, and we're not due for it for another 1,000 years, give or take. But the thing is, 1,000 years out of 400,000 isn't that much time. That's one. That's a quarter of a percent chance that it's not going to come now as opposed to 1,000 years later. I don't know.
Asteroids.
Right. But anyway, so we've got that. So that's actually likely to happen in the next 1,000 years. a massive asteroid. We could say that.
Well, no. There was actually about 3 days ago, China took a picture of a mile-wide asteroid that passed pretty close to Earth.
Cool.
And it passes every couple of 100 years, and if it hit our water mass, then it would probably take out 50% of the world. But yeah, they took a picture of it. So that's another one.
So then we've got solar storms and just solar flares, which is just an 11 to 12 year cycle anyway, and that's a scientific thing, and that's due to happen in 2012. But apparently we're not in for a solar maximum. But even that we are, the only thing can really do is disrupt magnetic fields, which can disrupt telecommunications and all that sort of stuff, which we are relatively prepared for anyway. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Then we've got the I'm just going to go through the physical ones first. No, I think that's it with the physical ones. Then we've got planet Nibiru, which apparently this is a theory that was mostly brought up by Zecharia Sitchin, which is an interesting character.
It?
Yeah.
Was he the one I heard of? I didn't hear of Zecharia Sitchin.
So he's got this theory about the creation of humans and why we are here on this planet, because there was a extraterrestrial intelligence life form from the planet Nibiru, which is this planet in our solar system, but we can't see it from our point of view, apparently, I think, yeah. That they had the Anunnaki come here to mine for gold because their atmosphere required gold to be in the climate to reflect the sun, because they were having climate issues.
I'll just correct you on that. The Anunnaki found a particular type of ape. No. You said the Anunnaki came to mine for gold.
Yeah, they came to mine for gold, but then they made us mine for them to make us slaves. So they found
a particular type of ape, and they changed their DNA.
The most evolved ape at the time was one of the species of ape was the hominoid, which is possibly one of our ancestors. They're still not 100% sure about evolution. I mean, not that it's a fact, but the process on the species that led up to the human, Homo sapien. So anyway, the Anunnaki bred the hominoid with their one of their own genes from the alien gene, and then la-di-da, poof, you have the human being, us, today. And we were originally here to be mining gold for these Anunnaki people. So anyway, that's one of the theories, and the theory is...
Which is interesting. Well, let's talk about that for a second.
It's a very interesting theory.
Because in what way, shape or form, it's only a belief system. Why is this gold concept even relevant to anyone? Like, is it human nature to grow up believing that gold is a beautiful thing? I don't give a fuck what gold is.
I don't either. I can honestly say gold has no meaning for me.
You make a gold sword and someone will just cut it in half. You can't make a gold tool.
I have no desire for diamonds unless it can cut through the fucking concrete that I'm building a house for. You know? That's the only use I have for diamonds. You know?
I was an arsehole yesterday on Facebook. I should bring up the post. There was this big picture of this diamond necklace that you could win if you entered this competition, and then I wrote this whole spiel about conflict minerals and why no one should like diamonds, and there was like 500 posts on I would look so good. I'd just walk down the street with a happy smile on my face if I was like, all these chicks are just writing these posts like, there was like 350.
I wish some man would.
Oh no! I'd be the most sparkling female at the ball. They're writing this shit.
Oh my God.
Seriously, and it was this big fucking fat ass diamond necklace. And I wrote this thing about conflict minerals, and I said, this necklace was not so proudly brought to you by slaves in Africa, and shit like this, and this whole thing on. And then at the bottom I went, welcome to reality. And after like 340 posts, I wrote that, and then there was this, and then the actual jeweler who was giving away the necklace wrote down the bottom, we do not use conflict minerals, and what they write, and they said the mining for diamonds helps millions of poor people around the world every year. And that's it. And after 350 comments, no one else wrote anything else. And I was like, suck shit, bitches. But anyway, the concept, look, I don't care. You can like what you want. It doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, I don't understand why gold is such an important thing. And the main concept, the main beautiful thing to people, and the main sort of idea the main sort of backup to why that story might be relevant is because only a couple of years ago did scientists come up with the idea, and I'm going to relate it back into my conspiracy theory. I've got some fucking pictures